made Shepard cry. I hope you're happy.
Oh, it wasn't me. That was all. No, you know what? That was an awesome video, and I'll start there. Tremendous ceremony. Kudos to Mr. Dennis for putting that out. He actually reached out to us because we had no idea his whereabouts. We knew that Renee had passed away, I think maybe 5 years ago, and he reached out to offer his congratulatory message, and we just had to get we had Carter reach out and get a video, and he was so gracious to do so. But that in itself, and then Dr. Sands and his lovely wife coming out and presenting the basketball to her meant a lot to her. And when I looked at her, I knew we were going to be in trouble for the first few minutes because the raw emotion that just came out of her for that ceremony. She was so appreciative, and it was like 5 years accumulation of just everything that has gone on here. So very, very proud of her for that moment. We're going to do it again on Sunday, with senior night. At least this was a dry run. She'll be able to figure it out. But she played well down the stretch. She and I had an exchange, and we had an exchange probably midway through the third or maybe in the fourth. And I'm not. I'll admit it. She was a grown up. She was a grown up in during that little conversation, because we went at each other for a little bit, and I was the immature one, and I said, you know what, okay, just keep doing what you're doing. And she came back to me and she said, okay, Coach, what do you need me to do? And that just shows the growth that kid has had, because 3 years ago we probably wouldn't have talked to each other for about a week. And for her to be able to do that and come back and solidify the game for us down the stretch was tremendous. So it was not a pretty game, it was just a gritty game. And I thought we handled their pressure well enough to win the game. We still got to get better, but 13 wins in conference, and that's monumental. And also too, I want to say a little something about Miami. I think they're an NCAA team. They play hard. They're talented. They're experienced. It was really good to have Beth Dunkenberger back. She did a really good job here while guiding Tech into the ACC. So she's always welcome back here, and it was good to see her back home, so to speak. But we're going to rest tomorrow, but I'm proud of our kids for a gritty win.
So what did you need Shepard to do then?
I needed her to take over. The way they were playing us, they were denying the ball back to Georgia, and she had to be the aggressor, because then they were double teaming Liz, and I thought she passed up a couple open opportunities, and she just felt like she was just kind of Mirandering out there. She wasn't engaged, and then from that, after that little exchange, that's when she hit a couple of her threes and really went to attack the basket, and what we needed her to do. And so proud of her, and just life lesson.
A couple big ones in the fourth quarter.
It was after that, it was before that, and she got a little bit more aggressive. And when she plays like that, we're really hard to beat. But if she kind of just floats out on the wing and allows people to take her out of her comfort zone, then it takes away an element that we desperately need. So when the points, yeah, the ball, yeah, the growth is what I'm most proud of, what she did in this game.
Chris, you trailed by 6, 4 minutes in the third, or maybe there's 4 minutes left in the third, but you outscored them 31-18 the rest of the way. What kind of enabled you to get on that run?
We just dug in. We got stops on the defensive end, secured the rebounds, and then we started to play downhill. We weren't back on our heels. When you're back on your heels against Miami, you're going to be tentative. You're not going to see things. They're going to trap you. But when you go at them, you force the officiating to make a decision. Am I going to call these ticky-tack fouls, or am I going to call these hard fouls? And we got into the bonus, I think it was 8 minutes to go in the game. And so, which was a blessing and a curse, because then I thought we just tried to go in and draw fouls as opposed to run our offense a couple of possessions. But that was a big turning point, and we were able to handle the pressure and just kind of get the ball where we wanted to get it to quickly.
Yeah, and then Deja's shot at the end of the third. How big?
It was huge. Yeah, it was huge. Shepard made the play though. Asia made the play. She was being double teamed, and she kind of weaved through traffic and made the pass to Deja, which she capitalized on, which I was very proud. Deja played well. She played well and got some key rebounds. She does so many more things than just what may show up on the stat sheet, and when she plays like that, she adds an element that we desperately need from that forward position. And I thought Emily Lytle did a really good job too early, getting us going. Hit I think 3 threes, and had 12 points. And I don't think she's been in double figures for a long time, but she's been playing well as of late.
Yeah, no, I mean, you mentioned Emily. Like, how important is it to get her going, especially,
It's extremely important. She provided depth for us, not only at the power forward position, but also she played the small forward position for us today. We were kind of stale in the first half. I think we had 4 kids with 2 fouls, and that's why they went on that run at the end, to take the lead. But we have to learn how to play and control the narrative against all types of teams, and we do it sometimes. Sometimes we're really good at it. Sometimes we get a little stagnant, but. They want you to play a messy basketball game, and we had 18 turnovers, but it felt like 30. A lot of them were the live ball turnovers. Case in point, the one at the end. I told Liz I'd rather her throw the ball to the cheerleader out of bounds than to throw the ball away like she did at the end and give them an opportunity to go get a layup. So, but it's something we'll work on, and as we finish out, we play NC State, which plays a style that's very similar to ours. You go into the tournament, depending, it's going to be very important because we win this game, we get the double bye. We desperately need that, number one for rest, but number two, it gives you good matchups, and we'll start playing teams that play a lot like we play. And then you go to the NCAA tournament, and then, hope you get a really good draw. So Sunday's going to be big for a lot of different reasons, and, we got 2 days to prep for it.
Yeah, and then 13 ACC win first time.
Yeah.
It's happened since y'all joined the conference. I mean, what does that kind of mean to you?
I think when the season's over with, and I've had some rest and some downtime, it'll probably hit me then. But like when you get to 13 and you still have another one, you still just want to continue on. And this is a team we knew we had to go out and compete at this high level, and to win 13 games in the ACC, that is just, especially when the league is as good as it is this year, it's monumental. And it's something that we won't take lightly, but right now we just have so much basketball ahead of us that we're just really focused on the next game.
Coach, they had an 11-man rotation really throughout a lot of girls off the bench early. So was that kind of a new shift for you guys dealing with sort of like a deep rotation of mine?
Yeah, it's and they're playing well. They had won 4 games in a row coming in. And I think a lot of that has to do with they are deep, and so they are a little bit fresher than a lot of teams who only play 7, 8 people. And we knew that was going to be an issue, and they rotated people in and out, and I thought it was paying dividends for them early, but we just gutted it out and really dug in and found a way to succeed with a different brand of basketball. But that's how they're winning a lot of their games. They just rotate kids in and out, and they're fresh, seem to be fresh most of the time.
And then the foul trouble, Georgia, she got her third foul pretty early on into the second half, and then you really had to bring on Kiana and then Aisha to kind of bring up the ball.
Yeah.
With Miami's full court pressure. So what do you have to say about Kiana and how Aisha were able to handle that press?
For Kiana, I thought she was much better in the second half than she was in the first half. She just kind of gave away a couple in the first half, which Georgia was in foul trouble again. And second half, I thought she calmed down a little bit better and was able to break the pressure, but also get us into opportunities. But first half, she was not very good. And but Georgia knows that she needs to be on the court, and a couple of her fouls were avoidable. And sometimes the competitive nature comes out, and she wants to go get the basketball, but she has to understand what's more important, you being on the floor or you going to get in that basketball. And so she put us in a hole, and she knows that, and she's already asked to watch film tomorrow and try to get better. But I thought KT and Shepard did a much better job in the second half of handling that pressure.
Yeah. And then the turnovers, you guys had 16 turnovers really in the first 2.5 quarters, but in the last quarter and a half, only 2 the rest of the way. So how were you guys able to adjust it?
Well, number one, it's really hard to press for 40 minutes, and as the game wears on, you get a little bit more fatigue, so that pressure gets a little bit different. And but we were a little bit more cognizant of what we wanted to do, how we wanted to get the ball to where we wanted to get it, and we handled the pressure a lot better. And that's when the lead was able to not balloon but get bigger and give us a little cushion. And so. Learning curve, and like I said, we got a lot of basketball left to play, and we're still learning, even though this is game 28, and every game's different, offers a different perspective, and but I'm just fortunate for us to be able to get a win. Very proud of our kids for being able to come away and gut that out for a win.
Then the rematch, obviously, against NC State to senior night. But how do you think this game will be different? You know, it's the first time obviously you guys went to NC State and lost, but what do you guys think this time around?
Hokie Nation's going to show out. Put that in caps. They're going to come. They're going to bring a friend. It's going to be loud. This place is a tremendous place to play, and when you can get people in here, it's a home court advantage. We played at Reynolds Coliseum, and there's 5,000 people in there, and it is loud. And we were able to cut the lead to 2 with 1:20 to go, and with the basketball. And we need the same type of atmosphere. If we can get this place rocking like that, it's going to give us a tremendous advantage. And you talk about 2 teams. I know they're 3 and we're 23, but you're talking about 2 teams that are very, very well matched. It's a rivalry. It's a healthy rivalry. There's a lot of respect between the 2 programs, and we love competing against each other. And so they know that this is a tough place to play, even though there was no one in the stands last year. We came away with a victory here. And they know we're both playing for something. We're playing for a double bye. They're playing for, try to continue to have their number 1 seed for the NCAA tournament. And it's probably going to be a physical game. The last game was physical. I thought Liz and Kunane, they beat each other up the whole time. I think they were like a combined 5 for 150 from the floor, but they were just beating each other up. So it's going to be really good for women's basketball, really good for the ACC, and a lot is on the line.
So Louisville obviously pressed you the entire way. Same thing with Miami. How do you make sure, as a coach, how do you teach them, how to break that press? Because obviously it worked in the second half, but the second quarter was a little rough.
You put them in position. All right. As a coach, I can't hold their hand, and you can put them in position. Then once you get to that point, then you got to be a basketball player. And we have good basketball players who sometimes they may get a little hesitant because they might doubt themselves. And we just basically told them, just play. Just go play. If they're taking this away, go play. And they can't continue to do that the whole time. But we run into that. Half the league plays that way, and half the league plays another way. And so we've done a really good job of handling all of it, to the point where it's not always going to be pretty, but they don't want you to be pretty. They want to mess the game up. So we've learned a lot. And the more experience these kids get, the better off they're going to be. Georgia Amore, she's a COVID freshman. So she's going to have plenty of time to understand that, and understand too that if you're going to push up on me, I'm just going to go right by you, and I'm going to create for my teammates, and instead of running the play that Coach Brooks told me to run. And she's building up that equity to where I'll give her that freedom.
And then one last one for me. What was kind of one thing you learned from your team? Was it kind of resiliency tonight?
Yeah, you know what? It takes a lot, because there's been teams that I've had in the past that may have lost that game. And when this group walks out on the floor, they expect to win. And you can see it in their faces. And I've had teams that hope to win. This team expects to win. And even when they get to a situation where it's not favorable, they look like, okay, we're fine. We just need to do what we're supposed to do. And they're talented. And so I think that gives them the confidence to do so. So, we feel like we're in any game. We just have to play well. And when we do that, we give ourselves a chance to win anytime.
So, last one, just one more for me. The free throws, you guys shot 16 free throws and hit a really high clip in the second half, only 2 in the first half. So, is there kind of an emphasis at halftime to really just be aggressive?
Yeah, when you play against a team like that, you just have to go downhill. But if you play on your heels, they'll continue to pressure you. If you go at them, then it gives you a chance to make the referees call a foul. And we got, like I said, we got to the bonus with 8 minutes to go in the game. So just really play downhill and be aggressive. And the game's not supposed to be so physical. So they have to call the fouls. That was just the adjustment that we made.